you're born with a bat and balls, you got to play boy sports. That's it. There is no equivocation to this. There's no way around it. There's no loophole to this. Period. That's a simple way of solving the problem, and it needs to be that simple, so that because if it's not that simple, what happens is you start introducing, when you get into, well, we can split hairs on this and puberty for this person, and this person has this much of a hormone, and we can measure this much hormone. If you're under 0.36 amount, then you can play, and if you're over it, you can't. See, when you do all that, here's the problem with that. When you do all that, you start introducing these academics and these scholars who come into the conversation, and all they do is junk up the conversation with a whole bunch of gobbledygook and jargon that talks over the heads of most people in such a way that they confound and confuse you with what they're saying, to the point that they kind of are trying to intimidate you with their intellect, to the point that you don't quite understand what is going on. And in that confusion, in the midst of that confusion, that's when they slip into bullshit that you didn't even notice. And it's only when it's too late you realize that they did it. That's why I want to keep it simple enough for a fifth grader to understand it. Fifth grader can understand you're born with a bat and balls, you got to play boy sports. All right. We don't need any doctors in the conversation. All right. So doctors, thank you, but no thank you. We don't need you. All right. We need you as a human. We don't need you as a doctor. So some claim that gender is more complex than biology, so sports should adapt. So again, here's where you start to get people trying to outsmart you with the language. Even when they bring it to this one right here. Gender and biology, or gender versus sex. This is when people try to start talking over your head. This is when you're dealing with academics, you're dealing with doctors or people who've done any study of medicine. This is what they do when they hear that you have an opinion that they disagree with. They immediately try to bring it to something that they think you can't answer as clearly as they can. And then they use that as a toehold to invalidate you in anything that you've said. And then they explain how they know it so well and why they should be the authority on the subject, simply because they have so much knowledge on what's the difference between this thing and that thing. That's the reason why I've suggested plain language, common sense ways of looking at it, which again, a fifth grader can understand. You don't need any kind of degree at any level to understand it. If you're born with a bat and balls, you must play boy sports. And if you're born with a vag, you get to play girl sports. That's it. In one fell swoop, we eliminate all the jargon.